because Gaussian mixture components are parametric and they have the universality that a finite set of Gaussian curves can represent a probability density function. So once we have these Kepstral features, we can proceed to estimate the probability density function from which these features are obtained. So as said before, we choose the Gaussian mixture components which are given by this general equation. So the parameters to be calculated for each component are the mean vector and the covariance matrix, and how much of a contribution each mixture component has. So there is a scaling factor Pi as shown here. To build these Gaussian mixtures, to build this Gaussian mixture model, we use the expectation maximization algorithm. It is essentially an iterative algorithm used to construct any mixture model in general, and we use it for constructing the GMM. So the inputs to this algorithm would be the number of components we want in the mixture model, the component weights, and the component covariance and the component mean vectors. So we initialize the weights, component covariances, and component means, and the iterative algorithm provides us the optimized component weights and covariances and the mean vectors to fit a given PDF. So the diagram below illustrates how this actually works. We have a scattered set of data points as shown by this region and this region. So the EM algorithm takes these data points and an initial vector of weights and covariance and mean vectors and provides with this Gaussian approximation for this data set. It does the same for this data set as well. The green curves here show the initial Gaussian mixture model, which is far away from the dataset, and as the algorithm proceeds, we see that it sort of coincides on the dataset, providing a fairly accurate estimate. This flowchart explains the expectation maximization algorithm. So we initially set our Q of lambda given lambda of -1, which is the lambda in the previous iteration. We go ahead to perform the expectation step and followed by the maximization step, which essentially computes which lambda will provide a maximum value for the expectation computed before. And finally we perform a check to see that the algorithm is really converging, and if it stops converging, we will decide that the final set of parameters is given by this lambda ml, which is the lambda maximum. ML stands for maximum likelihood, so the parameters which will result in maximum likelihood. And if the algorithm does not satisfy this condition, which means that the algorithm is converging, we can go ahead and optimize the parameters even more by just repeating the expectation and maximization steps. So after building the speaker model, we have to perform the speaker identification task, and the measure that we choose to perform this task is the likelihood. Likelihood is essentially probability value. So given a probability density function f of x, if we want to find the likelihood of x equal to 10, we simply evaluate the function at 10. So likelihood of x equal to 10 is just f of 10. So if we have a test signal and we obtain the features of that test signal and we want to see how well a feature vector fits into a model, we just evaluate that feature vector on the model's PDF. So using this approach, we build two systems. So one is the baseline system and another is the universal background model system. So in the baseline system, we have the structure is pretty much the same. We have the pre-processing block followed by the feature extraction, pattern recognition, and the decision block. So after the pattern recognition block, we get the likelihood values, and how we decide on a particular speaker is that we will simply choose the speaker corresponding to the PDF which gives the maximum likelihood for a given test vector. So we use the Mel frequency crystal coefficients as features, and we use Gaussian mixture models for modeling the speaker. So we test the system on two databases. One is Noisius, which is a noisy database, and a timid database, which is essentially a clean database. We have 100 speakers in both the databases. We use 24 seconds of data per speaker in building the Gaussian mixture models, and we use 6 seconds of data for testing, and another testing experiment uses 12 seconds of data per speaker. So these are the speaker identification results for the baseline Gaussian mixture model system, with data set as being timid, which is the clean data set, and 16 components in the Gaussian mixture model, 13 Mel frequency crystal coefficients, with we get around almost 100% accuracy in the identification process. With 32 components in the Gaussian mixture model, we again obtain 100% accuracy as expected. Now when we go to the noisy database, we see a slight degradation in the performance, as we see here that with 16 components in the model, we obtain around 76 to 80% in identification accuracy, and with 32 components, we see a slight increase from 76 to around 84, and from 80 to around 90. So the accuracy is around 80, 85 to 87% on average. The other system that is considered in this project is the universal background model system. So in the universal background model system, what we do is we have a log likelihood ratio test being conducted. So then the ratio is between the likelihood of the test vector with the model of a given speaker to the likelihood of the test vector on a universal background model. So the universal background model will have is a conglomerate of the models of all the speakers. So we take the speech utterances from all the speakers and build a huge model consisting of large number of Gaussian mixture components and come up with this log likelihood ratio to perform the identification task. The decision block still remains the same, where we just see which speakers model in the numerator gave the highest log likelihood ratio for a given test vector and decide that he is the speaker being identified. And the speaker ID results for the Gaussian mixture model with universal background scheme is as follows. For the clean speech database, that is TIMIT, with 2048 components, we get 100% accuracy as expected, because even with the baseline Gaussian mixture model system, we obtain 99 to 100% accuracy. And with the noisy database, we see that we get around 90 to 91% accuracy on average, because for test data of around 8 seconds we have 89%, and for test data of 12 seconds we have around 94% accuracy. We see a drastic increase in the performance when we switch to universal background model system from the baseline system, because in the UBM system we have this advantage that the conglomerate of all the models present in the data set provides us with the opportunity to distinguish speakers with more clarity. So that essentially translates to getting a better system identification accuracy. So in conclusion, I would like to say that UBM system provides better accuracy in noisy environments, but it requires uh, more computations because we will be calculating the universal background model, which requires large number of mixture components. And in situations where we require using where we have constraints on computational complexity, we can go ahead to use the baseline Gaussian mixture model system with 32 or 16 components in each of the mixtures to obtain fairly accurate results.